Is Entropy going to be the main villain in Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time? Let's talk about it.
Whoa!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and back with a brand new Crash Bandicoot 4 video. Wait a second, there's something off about this image. That's better. Hello everybody and welcome to the brand new office. We are finally moved into our new location and I am so happy. It's been a long time coming and we are finally here, and I am so overjoyed to finally have a brand new office, a brand new creative space. As you can see, we're not quite done yet. There's some boxes over here, but we got the Funko wall up and we're back to creating content, and I can't wait to spend the future in this room, at least for the foreseeable future. Anyway, let's get into the video. Now, if you want to stay up to date on all things Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon, then you found the right channel for you. Make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell to stay up to date on all things Crash and Spyro. Now, for the most recent state of play, we found out a giant bucket load of details for Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time. Loostar did a fantastic job narrating and give us brand new information for the game. But when we focus on the footage, there are dozens of little details that have ripple effects of assumptions and questions that are all valid to talk about. I made a video breaking down just about every single detail from the footage from the state of play. You can check it out in the card in the top right corner or in the comment section below. But one detail that I mentioned that I wanted to expand upon was about the devious doctor, Dr. Nefarious Tropy, the master of time and the creator of the Time Twister itself, which was used as the core basis of travel for Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Entropy is interesting because unlike every other boss in the game in the Crash Bandicoot universe, like let's say Pinstripe or Dr. Engine or even Embryo, they were at one point or are a lackey to Dr. Cortex. However, Entropy comes in as a friend or ally to Uka Uka. Now remember this because this will become more important down the line. But overall, unlike most other Crash games, I don't think Cortex is going to be the final villain or the bad guy. I think it's going to be veiled in the marketing and in the trailers and advertising as, yes, he's going to be the bad guy just like every other Crash game or most other Crash games. But I think once you get into the game, the real bad guy is going to be Dr. Entropy. I'm going to give you 3 reasons as to why I think Entropy is going to be the main villain in Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time. Actually, that's the first point right away. The title of the game. It's about time. Entropy is the master of time, and being a self-proclaimed master of it, it would only be fitting that the game's title would have a heavy influence to Entropy. So that would also mean that the title hits threefold in terms of meaning. The fact that it's about time for a brand new game, the game is about time, and the final villain is the master of time. So in terms of game titles, this makes complete sense that Entropy would be a prevalent figure in the game. The next detail is really small and seemingly minor, but it could mean, well, a lot. So in this shot here, we can see that Entropy is overseeing something that is within a glass chamber. Now this shot is quick, so it's hard to see, but if we pause here, we can actually see what seems to be metal prongs sticking from the top through the glass. Now, if we look at Entropy in this game, we can see that those prongs are also on his head. So what we can determine here is that this is an entirely new suit for Entropy that's being developed. But how can we be so sure though? Well, we can always look at leaks. Remember this little image? This was an image showing off concept art for Crash Bandicoot 4 that we didn't know at the time. And this was accidentally leaked by Toys for Bob's social media. In the image, we actually can see concept art for Entropy in a completely different suit. Let's compare this concept art to the suit that we see from the trailer. As you can see, they are completely different outfits. So I believe that the suit that is in this chamber is actually the brand new suit that we saw from the Toys for Bob leak. Now you might still not be convinced. If that's the case, I got one more piece of evidence for you. While Entropy is overlooking his new swanky suit in the chamber, we can see Dr. Cortex behind him, looking absolutely miserable and doing grunt work. Why would the main villain of the game be doing basic maintenance work and looking miserable? Then you have Entropy looking on in pride and admiration of what looks like to be his newest piece of genius tech. Now, remember what I said earlier about how Entropy came in as an ally to Uka Uka? Well, if Uka Uka turns to Entropy for help, and Uka Uka is more powerful than Cortex, then that would put Entropy on either equal footing with Cortex or perhaps even higher. They don't particularly get along either. In the trailer, we can see them arguing and fighting over, well, something. The point is that Entropy is not below Cortex like Cortex's other goons and bosses. He is at least on equal footing or stands above him in the villain hierarchy. So we have a defeated looking Cortex doing basic work while Entropy looks on. An interesting parallel here is that if we look at the intro of Crash Bandicoot 2, we can see Engine talking to Cortex as his assistant, with Cortex looking on to the world with his chest puffed out and his arms behind his back. And in this image here, Entropy is the one who has their chest puffed out and their hands behind their back, with Cortex looking absolutely miserable. So I think Entropy bullies his way to becoming the main villain in this game, with Cortex reluctantly following his orders. But when the Bandicoots show up out of nowhere, Entropy sends Cortex off to deal with the pair of marsupials while he finishes off the suit. And Cortex sees this as an opportunity to finally enact his revenge, as well as get away from Entropy. Now, of course, I could be wrong, as this is all speculative, but what do you guys think? Is Entropy the main villain in the game, or do you think Cortex still holds that position? Or could it be something else that's even more evil and powerful? Comment below and let me know. Thank you so much to all those who not only support the channel, but myself and my family. Because of your contributions, I'm able to do this full time. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider clicking the join button or becoming a Patreon with the link in the description. I also live stream every Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on by and say hi. Again, thank you to everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video and or live stream.